Hey loves, in today's video, we're talking about how to stop obsessing over whether men fancy you, whether men like you or not. Because if you've seen my last few videos, you already know that we're on a journey of putting ourselves first and not looking for male attention. So today I am going to be giving you real simple tips that will help you snap out of that validation trap and start putting back that energy right into yourself. Now let me just say this. There's absolutely nothing wrong with a man finding you attractive or giving you attention. That's not a bad thing at all. The issue is when that becomes the main thing, where your entire sense of self revolves around being seen or approved by men. And honestly, it is not your fault at all. Society has wired us that way because that is how we were raised, that is what we were taught. And I really just want any woman watching this video to start shifting from that energy, to shift from that mindset and start focusing on important things that make you feel proud, make you feel confident, and make you feel full outside of just things that get you male attention. Because girl, you're way more than that. Because it really gets exhausting constantly thinking about how to get the male attention. How should I start dressing? How should I start acting? Even when you're out there with your girls having a good time, you're overthinking everything because you're like, is there a guy at the corner looking at me? There's a guy watching me, so I need to, act a certain way so that I'm going to get his gaze and his attention. I remember telling a story on this channel where I went for a party and I was just being my usual happy, bubbly, fun self. And then the girl that invited me out to this party was like, brother, please stop acting that way. There's a guy looking at you at your back. And I'm like, so because there's a guy looking at me, I should not have fun. I should not act the way I act on a normal day just because the guy is looking at me somewhere. Or like, think about those times when you're in school and you literally cannot focus because there are boys everywhere, and you start overthinking plenty things. You start acting in a certain way just so that they are going to notice you. Start overthinking, am I pretty enough? What do I need to do about my body so that I will be more attractive to the boys around me? Now the new trend is this whole feminine energy thing, and personally it is not a bad thing at all. The concept of feminine energy itself isn't bad at all if it is focused on self-growth and becoming the best version of yourself as a woman. But a lot of the content I see out there that talks about femininity, feminine energy, feminine spirit, and all yada 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 that they do, it's always about a strategy just to attract a man. They are constantly pushing femininity towards attracting a man, getting a man, keeping a man. It is always about a man. I even heard that there are people that are even joining groups now. They are taking courses, learning how to be chosen and picked by a man. I find it very, very hilarious. And I'm like, wait, so all your energy, your time, your attention, you just put it to focus on a man. That is the only thing you are focused on. Sis, there's a problem. And I say this with so much love in my heart. That is obsession, and you need to stop that obsession today, like right now. See, I totally get it. Beauty is a type of currency, especially in this our very vain world. There's nothing wrong with wanting to look good. See, take care of your body, take care of your skin, dress well, be presentable, stay clean, do all the beauty stuff and the beauty maintenance that we love to do as women. I love all of that. I am all for that. But I want you to also start paying attention to other parts of you that make you a whole, well-rounded woman, because you are so much more than just your looks. It's not just about only being your most attractive self, but also about being your best self inside and outside. The truth is, male validation or any other external validation, it's not something that you can rely on long term. It comes and it goes. That is why it is very important to learn how to validate yourself and feel good about yourself in a way that is not tied to just a man looking at you and giving you attention or picking you. Because honestly, when your self-worth is based on how much attention you are getting from men, you begin to feel like you're not enough. Your whole existence cannot revolve around being picked by a man. It is okay to desire love. It is okay to desire a relationship. I made a video about that. I think that's like my last video or last two videos about why it is okay to desire these things, but it becomes unhealthy when your entire mood or your entire life now revolves around or depends on how much male attention you are getting. So how do you stop this obsession? First of all, catch yourself in the act. Interrupt your thoughts. The first step to breaking free is self-awareness. You need to start catching yourself in the act. Those tiny little moments where your thoughts or your actions are driven by the need to be desired by a man. Those moments where thoughts like, oh, I need to be beautiful, I need to stay beautiful so that men will always find me attractive, or oh, I'm single. The reason I'm single is because I am not good enough, I don't look good enough, or I need to lose weight because so that men can start to consider me as attractive. Or when you're out with friends and no guy has approached you or is approaching you and you begin to feel low and feel sad about yourself, what is that? That is your cue. That is your signal to stop that thought in its track. Those are the moments that you pause and you check in with yourself. Like you ask yourself questions like, why am I feeling this way? What exactly do I want from this situation right now? And you start asking yourself questions like, if I do not get male attention today, am I still valuable? When you start observing these tiny triggers, you slowly stop to be controlled by them. It's like catching a bad habit in real time. When you see it, you can shift it. And over time, you realize that it becomes easier for you to separate your worth from that attention that you used to crave. The second way to stop obsessing over male attention or their gaze, whatever, is to start validating yourself. And how can you even do that? You can do that by first figuring out who you are as a person beyond just being attractive. So many of us think that we really know ourselves. We really don't, or at least not as much as we think we do know ourselves. Take time to check in with yourself, like write down or make a list of maybe the top 3 qualities that really reflect who you are on the inside and not just on your outside. Not just your looks. You get what makes you feel good about yourself? What do you enjoy doing? How do you show up for yourself on a daily basis? How do you handle situations? You understand? You also need to learn how to compliment yourself. Learn how to admire your own beauty without waiting for another person to validate it or to sign it. Before I started making this video, I was looking at myself in the mirror and I saw how beautiful. I was just saying, oh, brother, baby girl, you look so pretty. I don't need anybody to tell me that. That is how confidence is built over time. When you really know yourself, you're able to compliment yourself and see your beauty by yourself. You know your worth from within. And of course, there will be days where you don't really feel yourself that much. There will be days where you don't feel so beautiful. There will be days where you feel like you cannot conquer anything. You feel so, there's just somehow you feel very off about yourself. Insecurities will pop up here and there. You will question yourself. You will question your worth. But even on those days, deep down, at your core, at your center, you know that you're still that girl regardless. Another tip I will give you is to find a purpose to focus on beyond attracting or impressing a man. When you discover something that fulfills you, whether it's a career path, a course that you care about, or a skill that you are learning and want to master, you would realize that you naturally become less obsessed with being seen or desired by a man and more focused on that purpose that makes you feel whole and complete. What other things you want to explore? What passions do you have that you want to explore? Because when you understand, you realize and you acknowledge that your existence is beyond just looking good for men. You were not created, you were not born to be a decoration in a man's life. You are a full human being with a life to live, dreams to pursue, dreams to chase, and a purpose to walk in. Your entire existence does not revolve around being picked by a man. That is not your identity, and it shouldn't be your goal to just be picked by a man and married off. Fill your life with other things. Make new friends. Go back and rebuild your relationship with God. Do other meaningful things with your life. When you remove the obsession with being attractive or being validated by men, you create a space to explore who you really are beyond just who you are trying to impress. Recenter your focus to yourself and your purpose, and little by little, you would realize that the obsession you have with men fancying you, their attention, their gaze, their validation, will start dropping bit by bit. We've come to the end of today's video. I really hope you learned one or two things. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.